Hi, good evening. My name is Cassandra Trevino, and today on our first discussion, we will be covering the two acceptance speeches from Trump and Biden. And with these two speeches, in my personal opinion, I feel that one was way too lengthy compared to the other one. And I feel that they both did cover the virus and they both covered ways that they would help the people, but one was way too extreme in regards to what I call a lot of fluff. And we'll go into that with chapter one for imagery. In that area of imagery for chapter one, we see where President Trump is at. He is having his speech at the White House. And as we look there at the acceptance speech and his footage there seems to be a good amount of people. And from what I see, aside from him talking a lot, is that it seemed to be like there was hardly anyone with masks on. And that had me concerned, considering that Trump should be standing by the guidelines, I feel, in regards to having the people wear masks. If we're trying to help and stop the spread and whatnot, and we're bombarded with so many commercials that tell us what to do in regards to wearing masks and social distancing. And with that, I didn't see very many people wearing masks. And of course, he was far away from the audience, but people around him were not. So I have to say that first just caught my attention again. And I think that takes us back to the media and what they're showing us in regards to what they're broadcasting, right? So seeing his speech, he seems to go on and on about his accomplishments, and it paints a picture for us to see him as a good person, as a president that has done so much for us because he's accomplished so much in his 4 years. And it just seems strange that he compared himself to presidents from way past, and how since then he's been the only one that has helped in whatever issues it may have been. And I think that, again, he's painting himself to be the savior. And even though he tells us that Biden will not be the savior of all things, he will be, because he's done so much for America. And with Biden, we look at his speech, and honestly, it's just him. He's speaking, I feel, directly to us. And it felt like he was speaking into our souls. Again, that's my opinion, but it seemed he was more connected. And considering his amount of time that either he gave himself or was given to him, I think he addressed a lot of great points. And again, how he's going to help us, the people, that no matter what kind of situation we're in, he has his plan. And especially, again, in the plan of the coronavirus, he addressed it where he has a strategy. Now, I hope that at some point from now to November, we might get some insight as to what that might be. But again, it's all about imagery. And I think that Biden had a great type of imagery that was portrayed to us through the media. And he just seemed much more personal. And I think that even though Trump addressed family and he addressed God and he addressed that he's lost someone, and so has Biden, it didn't seem as realistic and meaningful as Biden did. But again, I honestly feel that Trump just talks a lot. What I see it to be is, for example, Trump is talking about all these positive things, and of course, other things of his future plans if he were to be reelected. And I just see this as my point of view. I just see this as he's given us all this sugar, all these sweet words, but he's not telling you how eventually it's gonna hurt us in the end. So right now, everything has to look great, right? In the media, everything has to look good for us and for them, so that we can vote for the person we feel we should vote for. That's, how we are picking the person, through the imagery, through how the media, portrays them. And I just think that Biden did a better job on that part, again, in my opinion. And in regards to chapter 2, we look at how there's a time where in both speeches, President Trump and Biden are jabbing, as you could say, or poking each other with words, because basically in the media, that's what we want to see. We want to see the bullying, we want to see the negative, because that's what gets the ratings, that's what gets us going in our minds, thinking and, seeing that it's a negative viewpoint, and we're gonna kind of stick ourselves to that viewpoint of, oh well, he's like this kind of person, and he's like that kind of person, and well, we shouldn't vote for them because of this and what the other one says. And in chapter 2, it does mention how the American parties and of course the candidates do all they can to get as much airtime or have ads that are showing us the kind of person they are. And then, of course, in the ads, or in this case, the acceptance speeches, we see them poking at and being negative towards each other. But that's what tends to, in a way, drive us, the Americans, the viewers, to see what are they going to say about the other person and how harsh is it going to be. And I think that Trump went a bit far with that, and making it seem again that Biden is going to ruin everything that Trump has ever worked for. And I appreciate the way Biden addressed Trump with simply calling him, our current leader, the president, the person in charge. He wasn't necessarily calling him out by his name. And I think that what he addressed is true. Trump tends to pinpoint all these positive things and all these positive numbers. But then with Biden, he brought up the numbers that are, of course, positive, but then the numbers that are negative with the virus. We don't have Trump saying, like, oh, we have over 5 million some people that are positive in the US, and that's so awesome and whatnot. But Biden brings that up because that's honestly where it's at. And again, that's just having to go with them, jabbing at each other in that way. And that's, their time to use to get people to see who the other person is in a way. And that's their way to try to gain voters come November. In chapter 3, the media marketplace, we're able to see overall how we've transitioned through different mediums such as the newspaper and then radio, and now currently with our television. But we've definitely increased, I think, in the online resources or online sources and social media. I think that many people nowadays tend to find their news, especially about politics and many other areas of importance, such as the virus, of course, all the protests and whatnot. They basically seek it through social media. And one of the good ones is Twitter, aside from Facebook. And we know that, unfortunately, our president currently has used Twitter a lot as well. And he's put a lot of things out there that he takes back or that he thinks is okay to say. And so from us, again, seeing these things through Twitter or social media, it changes our viewpoints, or it gets manipulated by others. So along with these acceptance speeches, I think that these speeches can definitely run across through social media, and it can be interpreted in many different ways. People can share it and start giving their viewpoints about it, or pinpoint certain parts of the speeches that's what we're going to be seeing across our newsfeed. Looking at an article that I got from CNN, it's based on the coverage of the convention, for the past days that the acceptance speeches were going on. And it basically covers where they feel that Biden has an advantage at the moment. And based on their polls, they feel that 51% of people are backing up Biden more than with Trump, and Trump being 40% backed up. So seeing that, again, from these past speeches, it helps us also understand where the people are coming from at the moment. again, things could change from now to November. And that's definitely, I think, gonna be based on, the way the campaigns are structured, the way they have their spokespersons. Most people were honestly concerned about what the candidates would address on for the coronavirus and how the things would get eventually fixed, because 60% of voters, according to CNN's polls, stated that they were very concerned about the outbreak that we've been going through, the pandemic. And then, of course, they were concerned about the state of economy and racism, which was addressed in both Biden and Trump's speech. Once again, thank you for this discussion, and I hope you all enjoyed my viewpoint, my opinions on this take on these speeches, and I look forward to the next one. Thank you.